Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So today I'm going to be talking a bit about why it's more important now more than ever before in moving into the year 2017 to stay prepped and to stay vigilant. So let's get to it. Alright, so there's this rather strange idea going around YouTube, which is being talked about by many YouTubers, and I don't know if it's just a cool talking point or a straw man that they're setting up to knock down in a video. I don't know if there's any real basis to what they're saying, but there's this idea going around that because Donald Trump is president of all people, that's cause not to prep and to put down our defenses and to all of a sudden just, pretend as if everything is hunky-dory. Well, before I get into that exact topic, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. It's been a great year for the channel. I've almost tripled my subscriber count this year. Still struggling to get any real traction on the viral media scene on YouTube. I've never had a viral video on YouTube. And I sort of wear that as a badge of honor in spite of that, because of the fact that I still have been able to get the level of growth that I have had without the help of YouTube's very complicated and sophisticated algorithm that, of course, makes it very hard for meaningful, informative videos to actually take root and be seen by large amounts of people. Now, if I were to come on YouTube and heat up a knife and cut things with it like phones and Coke bottles, apparently millions of people want to see that shit. Now, if you go on the YouTube trending feed right now, you're going to see this one guy named Mr. Gear. The only thing he does in his videos is he heats up a knife and he goes and he cuts something at random with it. 3, 4, 5 million hits on every single one of those videos. I guess that's just what people want to see. To me, it's kind of like Teletubbies for adults, but I'm glad that I still have earned the respect of almost 60,000 of you here on the Canadian Prepper channel. I may consider changing the channel's name next year. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Should I change the channel's name to something more universal, or should I leave it as Canadian Prepper? Remember, when I started this channel, it was to fulfill a void in the YouTube prepping community, which there wasn't many people talking about this from a Canadian perspective 3 years ago. So I figured I would capitalize on the fact that there wasn't, take the name for the channel and kind of run with it. But let me know if you have any ideas. Could it be the Universal Prepper? Because many of the videos that I put out are not specific to Canada. However, I am working on an After the Collapse series right now, which focuses strictly on the impacts of collapse disaster scenarios in a Canadian environment. Across the board, every province I'm going through one by one. It's probably going to be a 5 or 6 stage video series. But in the new year, I plan on keeping the channel going full steam ahead. I may cut back the amount of videos I produce. It's simply too hard for me to sustain this level of proliferation of videos and to keep pace on the YouTube treadmill as I am right now, in order to offset the YouTube algorithm, which just quite frankly doesn't, bode well for this channel. And I've been trying to offset that by making more and more videos. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut it back to between 2 and 3 videos a week. I've been doing 4 to 5. I think if I can do 2 solid, high quality videos a week of the many, many ideas that I would like to do for videos, which probably most of them are never going to get realized because I simply don't have the time to balance a real job, family, and YouTube, and to get all ideas out there that I would like to get out. But I will do my best to get the most essential ones to you. Now, I want to give you one quick tip if you find that you're being unsubscribed for this channel, because I can show you my analytics. Well, I can't legally, but I can tell you that every time I post a video, and this is not just for me, this is common for every single YouTuber. Every time a YouTuber posts a video, there's a spike in how many people unsubscribe from the channel. And lots of them are unsubscribing from that particular video. And what's happening, because this happens to me all the time, is I'll be scrolling through my YouTube video feed. I'll find a video that I would like to watch, somebody that I've been subscribed for years. And this usually happens on a portable or mobile device. And I go and I click on the video and I'm watching the video and I notice that the subscribe button is lit up as if I'm not subscribed to that channel yet, even though that channel's video just appeared in my YouTube feed. So of course this creates the illusion that you're unsubscribed from the channel. You click on that button, all of a sudden you feel as though you subscribed, but really what you've done is you've unsubscribed, because there's a YouTube glitch which makes it seem or makes it look like you're not subscribed, and then when you push that button you actually inadvertently unsubscribe from the channel. So if you see that button not lit up, don't push it. If that video was in your news feed and you clicked on it, you are subscribed to the channel. You do not have to resubscribe. Now let's get to the main course of this video. So this notion that you don't have to prep because Donald Trump is president. Now look, I think most of you by now, it's no secret that I'm highly critical of politics in general. Trump is no exception to that. In fact, I think now more than ever, if there ever was a person in office that you should prepare for the consequences of them being there, it's probably going to be Donald Trump. I think that the house of cards is likely to come crashing down fast if it does come crashing down under him. I've proposed before that perhaps under one of the more punditized political talking heads that have been raised their whole life in the political paradigm, like Hillary Clinton, she might be able to draw out the collapse a little longer. You know, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 cards would have to be pulled before the entire house could fall. But I think with Trump, it would be a straight plummet to the bottom. Now that said, we can agree to disagree on that. You don't have to come on here and try to convince me. That doesn't mean by default I support Hillary any more than Trump. I believe that the whole political paradigm, quite frankly, is a giant farce, a giant smoke and mirrors facade put there to give you the illusion of choice. Now let's say, however, that you did buy into the Trump deception and you felt that now that Trump was president, you don't need to prepare as much. Now there are some man-made issues that are moderated by American politics, things such as civil defense, the economy, and the environmental issues. Those are 3 man-made things which perhaps could be mediated to some degree by the government who is currently in power. However, I think that the amount of influence that you can have in those areas becomes less and less by the day, because as we delve further into this globalist free-for-all, the human habitat becomes greatly diminished and it becomes weaker and weaker by the day. And in that sense, I'm talking about our ecological impact. I'm not talking about global warming or those other talking points that are like to be exploited by companies that have stock in cap and trade systems and carbon taxes and all the rest. I'm talking about the breakdown of our ecological systems, things which I've talked about before, the collapse of the global fisheries, the genetically modified foods, monocultural food production practices paired with the massive urbanization of the third world. Both of these things which are combining and contributing to create one of the largest outbreaks of avian influenza the world has ever seen. It's happening right now. You don't hear it on mainstream media. If you go over to my friend Brad at Full Spectrum Survival's channel, he'll fill you in on all the details, all of the things that you're not informed about in the mainstream media. He talks about one of the best prepper news channel sources out there, objective, professional, and to the point, and consistent. So go check out Full Spectrum Survival. So you have those environmental issues, you have the global conflict issue. Lots of people think that because Trump is in and there's this whole Putin and Trump are in bed fiasco, which, you know, in my opinion, is just smoke and mirrors as well. There's many different angles you can explore that from. But if you really do look at it, Trump in many ways is just as opposed to Russia's allies as the Obama administration ever was. So the idea that now the Cold War is over and we can all go back to sleep is quite ludicrous in my personal opinion. And then of course you have the economic issue, which a lot of people feel that somehow we're going to be able to create this isolationist economy, this superpower once again, bringing back American industry, in spite of the fact that nobody wants to pay the high price that it's going to take to do that. If you ask anybody on the internet, most people are not willing to pay for the price that it's going to cost to bring prices up to a point where it's going to be sustainable to do that. In addition, mass automation, robotics, all of these things are making our current economic paradigm very obsolete. Every day it gets more and more obsolete. The rich have gotten insurmountably rich. The middle class and the poor, of course, increasingly get poorer and poorer. And this is the trajectory we're going to remain on in the near future. There's no turning back at this point. The debt is pretty much irreconcilable. People are believing these myths because it's comforting to believe that once again, everything is going to change for the better. But the reality is the importance of being self-reliant now, of getting out of debt now, is more important than ever before. So I would encourage you to do that. With respect to natural disasters, be they big or small, be they of this world or out of this world, like something like a solar flare, meteorites, tornadoes, hurricanes, all of that stuff doesn't change. These are all things you still have to prepare for on a day-to-day basis, whether it's the loss of a job, just your own personal self-defense when you're out there in the world, protecting yourself from an active shooter scenario. All of these things still require your constant vigilance, and that should not change in the new year. I would encourage all of you who are not easily swayed by this political facade to take advantage of the reduction in prices, which is going to be brought by the reduced demand and increased supply of preparedness goods and services that are now coming about thanks to people being more confident in the prevailing government. So take advantage of it. It may not last forever, especially when shit starts hitting the fan. People are going to start hitting the supermarkets and there ain't going to be much left. So take advantage of it while you can. Now, I want to just say once again, thanks for all the support this year, guys. You can show your support for the channel simply by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the videos. Other ways you can support if you wanted to go one step further are to shop through the Amazon links that I post in the video description there. Even if what you want is not listed in the store, simply going through that portal or that link to get what you need helps me generate some commission that I in turn usually invest most of it back into creating these videos, and it just basically pays for my time to do this, and it makes it worthwhile for me to invest as much time as I do into the channel. I also have a PayPal donation button. I want to thank the half dozen or so people who made donations this year. I can pretty much count them on one hand still, but I appreciate all of them. And even if it's just a minor donation, every little bit helps. Even if it's like a $10 donation, I can use that to buy some stock video footage or some stock audio footage to help me, embellish the videos that I make a little bit and just make them a bit more engaging and entertaining, and hopefully attract more people to preparedness. And that was the original goal of this channel, was to be a bridge between those people who perhaps have no interest in preparedness whatsoever with those who perhaps are PhD preppers, introducing the PhD preppers to the preschool preppers and just bringing people together, and so that we can learn from one another, and hopefully they can balance each other out, because even though these people might be preschool preppers, they may have more realistic perspectives of certain aspects of life, society, culture, etc. Because sometimes when you're in that PhD prepper phase, we can get a little carried away too. So it's always good to have some balance and keep things right down the middle and practical. So once again, thanks for the support, everybody. I wish you the best in the new year. I hope that you challenge yourself in the new year to learn a skill that perhaps you've been reluctant to try out for whatever reason. Perhaps you fear failing at it, or whatever the case might be. You just maybe didn't think it was that important. Now's the time to get the skills, because time is running out. This is your life, and it's ending one day at a time. And before you know it, things go south, and all of the amenities that we enjoy today are not there to make us stronger, wiser, more skilled individuals to better prepare ourselves for the coming collapse. If it ever happens, let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope for the best, plan for the worst. I hope Donald Trump is great for the world and everything works itself out for everybody. But let's be serious here. Prepare for the worst, folks. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.